What's up, everybody? Another beautiful day, man. My buddy Dougie, man, he's not close to me anymore. He's far away, man. What are you, Texas or Vegas?
I'm in Las Vegas, man.
Las Vegas. So we're hanging with Mark and Dougie. I know you're doing some kind of comedian show out there. How you doing?
Good, man. I got in yesterday, had a little traumatic situation where I left my phone in the Uber.
Oh, that's always fun.
Oh, my God.
That's always fun. You know,
Yeah,
hopefully you got it back, did you?
I did get it back, thank God, with the help of my wife. But let me tell you something. If you lose your phone in the car in Uber, then it's really hard to get a hold of them because the only way you can get a hold of them is from your app on your phone.
Yep.
And when you don't have your phone, you feel like you're lost. What are you going to do?
What did they do 30 years ago without? It's so funny, you know, with technology, we take it for granted, man. We take it for granted. It's, you know, think about 30 years ago, we had nothing, man. I remember getting my first cell phone and it looked like an Army Ranger. You know, it was like 8 feet tall. It was like 8,048 seconds a second. So it had to have been like in prison to make a phone call. And you had the big battery pack, and it's technology is just amazing, dude. And I think we take it for granted, and it's awesome, man. You know,
The first mobile cell phone looked like a phone booth.
Oh my God! Yeah, and so you know, all technology. My dad's first camcorder looked like Steven Spielberg, like he was filming Jaws. You know, it's like, yeah, the whole equipment. Hey, all right, stay still. It's 100 pounds on his neck. You know, hey, we live in a great time, dude. I just couldn't imagine not having it, but. You know, technology can be bad also because you go to a restaurant sometimes and you'll just see a family not even looking at each other. They're just on the phones and they could care less about what's going on at the dinner table. So, you know, it has its perks and it has its negatives like anything else in life, you know. But
when I was at the airport in El Paso coming to Vegas, I'm at the bar, one of these PGA bars, you know, the golf one sponsored. And I'm in there and this Spanish guy's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm trying to eat. You know, he's on his phone for an hour.
That's so rude. You know what? I'm a hypocrite because I do that. And I yell at people. My girl's like, you do that all the time. I'm like, I know. You know, everybody, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite with that too because there's things that people do that I do. And I'm like, these assholes. I'm like, you're one of them, she says, you know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I had an awesome weekend, man. I got to see one of the greatest. My bucket list is getting close, man. I've seen the Stones. I've seen AC/DC. I've seen Led Zeppelin. The lead singer Page. I've seen a lot of big bands, you know, Prince, and I got to see Santana, man. Santana was, man, he was good, man. He just cool dude, man. He rocked it, man. And he still plays that guitar, man. I ranked him as one of the best, man. Who's your favorite concert, by the way? What was the concert that wowed you, that you went and say, holy mackerel, this is the best?
I think one of the funnest concerts I ever went to, me and my buddy Eddie Seaman went to go see, I think it was Iron Maiden.
A man-child that looked like he was 50 in middle school.
Right. We went to see Iron Maiden, and I think Quiet Riot opened for him at the old Hollywood Sportatorium. I saw U2 a bunch of times. I remember funniest thing was Kirk Samansky was holding the girl's hand in front of us while her boyfriend was with her. And we gave Pete Samara, we grabbed one of those cookies off, big old cookies you get at the concert, chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah. Was that
picked it up. Yeah, Hollywood Sportatorium. In that same concert, I picked it up, and I think Pete started eating it. He didn't realize I got it off the floor. But you mentioned Santana, Mark, and you know, when I was at Nova University, I met this Ecuadorian girl and hot. So I ended up taking her. I think the second or third date I ever went out with her on, I took her to we went to see Santana at the Sunrise Musical Theater. And
was she we left that woman?
Yeah, she was a black magic woman, dude. And let me tell you something. We drove away. We didn't go a few blocks. She made me pull over and we banged like porn stars in the back seat of my car, man. Oh.
Okay, everybody. I hope my nieces aren't listening. This banging means like she was hitting nails. They were doing I believe they were doing a housing project and a couple of rooms over there. That's the banging you're talking about, I hope.
Yeah, no, banging is an old Spanish dance from Nicaragua.
Now, my favorite concert, I've been to a couple great ones, man. You know, I seen Kiss. I thought Kiss was the visual was amazing. Their voice is okay, but by far for me, I seen you too also, but by far for me, the best is Rush, man. I've seen Rush 5 times, and musically, they're just geniuses. They put on a great show. But I've seen Prince. I've been to some good ones, man. But Santana definitely didn't disappoint, man. So that was my weekend. I had a great weekend, man. Besides donating to the Indian reservation, the money that I donated. We had a good time, man. Nothing in life is for free, man. But not to get off the subject, man. I never watched college football, but I decided to put a game on. I'm like, what the heck? I'll put it on. And I'll tell you what, I think it's a new thing, but they have a new chant, and it's everywhere. I thought it was just maybe conservative states, but I think New York, I think it was the Rutgers, and they're like, fuck Joe Biden, dun, dun,
fuck
dun,
Joe
dun,
Biden.
fuck Joe Biden. Dude, it is a riot when everybody in the stadium is synchronized exactly at the same time, man. I'm telling you what, man, there's a reason why his approval rating is 31%. I mean, you're talking about almost half the liberals don't like him. Liberals like Charles Manson. Liberals like everybody. So,
I posted the other day, I posted a comment about him, right? Like he had blood on his hands, because now we all found out that drone strike, right? That's his muscle and retaliation from across the river or whatever they're calling it, of a board. Like, we could deal with terrorism from afar. Well, they killed a fucking family of 10 people, 13 people, whatever it was, 7 kids, and it was amazing. So I posted that, and a very well-known comedy club owner, who I really want to try to get in with and been with, unfriended me on Facebook over the post.
What are you going to do, Doug? You got to be yourself, man. Someone else will recognize that you're funny, and it won't matter. Listen, man, if he's so butthurt, fuck him, man. You know what? That's one thing about me. I've had people in the past say, Mark, you need to, because you're in business, you need to be more accepting. No, fuck that. No, I can't be more accepting. I'm going to be who I am. And if you like me, you do business with me. If you don't, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Because you know what? The problem is everybody is subservient. And that's the problem we're having with America. And, I'm not a big fan of Nicki Minaj. I'm not, she's kind of cute, got a big ass. But besides that, I'm not a big fan. But she came out and listen, we all talked about this, whether you're for the vaccine or against the vaccine. I had the vaccine, not that I'm for it, but I just did it. But I think it's a right to choose what you want to do. It's your right to choose, okay? Whether you believe what you believe in. And Nicki Minaj said, I'm not getting the vaccine. Good for her. She doesn't want to get it. Good for her, And
she had a friend, family member that had swollen nuts in South America or something like that, right?
Yep. And I'll tell you what, man, it's her choice. And she shouldn't be criticized for her choice. She should be criticized for her music. She should be criticized for other things, but not for her choice of what she wants to do in life. You don't criticize a woman that has an abortion, so you shouldn't criticize her for doing what she feels she needs to do. And Biden's really getting some bad press because he's pushing a little too hard, man. He's pushing a little too hard. And listen, here's the good news: if you don't want the vaccine, just become an illegal alien. Come here illegally, and you don't have to get it. If you're a tax-paying man, you have to get it. It's that simple. Just sneak out in here. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, and they'll pay you.
I have that decision coming up because one of the gigs I usually do in the Bahamas at Atlantis, if I want to do that, it's a 2-week gig. It's a lot of fun. You go to Atlantis for 2 weeks and work at the, you have to have the vaccine to go there. So it's actually now.
I'm sorry.
Now a question I have. It's something I have to either do if I want to do that gig. I got to get the vaccine.
This is how I feel about the vaccine. We've talked about it. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we always talk about it. Is there some problems with the vaccine? Of course, anything there is. I think there's up to like 11,000 people have died from the vaccine. 200 million people have gotten it, so 11,000 is not an extraordinary number. I think if 180 million to 200 million ate a certain kind of popcorn, they could have problems. I mean, it's like you're talking about mass amount of numbers. And listen, with anything you take in the world, there's going to be issues with. I think, me personally, and it's my personal opinion, I think it's a pretty safe vaccine. I haven't had too many issues, Some people have, but some people have had issues, It's you got to do what you think, and that's it. And don't do it because you have to do it. You do it because you want to do it,
The big problem, and the big problem that we're looking at is that the people who have natural immunity, the people who had, like me, who've had COVID, I am not taking the vaccine because I believe in conspiracy theories or I think it's going to control me and I'm going to be part of a new world order. It's because I had it. And my doctor says, look, So, and my immunity is stronger than the vaccine immunity.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
So that's why I don't take it. So it's amazing that they don't count the naturally immune when it comes to this. And that's why people get uncomfortable. Like, look, if somebody doesn't take it because they got all those, because of those really far out beliefs, that's, listen, if you're out there, but if you stay home and you're a homebody, who gives a shit? Don't take the vaccine.
There's risk in everything you do in life, and you should make that choice. Hey, listen, you have a choice every day whether you eat a Big Mac, large fry, and a Coke. Every day you have that choice.
Well, let's get back to this Nicki Minaj thing, dude, because I think this is interesting because, like you said, I'm not a big rap fan or anything, but I'm definitely for people who speak out against the powers that be. In our business, like I just said, as comics, the industry is mostly blue. It's a democratic type thing. And if you speak out, you risk things like losing business. Like my good friends, comics that have had that happen. But for her to come out, like when I posted after this happened on Facebook, I said something like, hey, I'm sorry my political posts offended you. But a lot of people said, thank God you're doing it because they feel like they want to do it, but they can't, but I'm the one who's doing it, and we need more people.
By the way, real quick, I mean, not to be rude, but that was definitely sarcasm when you said that.
What?
When you said, I'm sorry. Okay, I just want to make sure that was sarcasm. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. It's like, part of me is sorry because, this is a great club. It's one of the top clubs, and if I want to work it, I still don't know. I don't know if the person just offended, because, sometimes there's a lot of professional people, and this particular person I would think is very professional and could put, politics aside from business and still work me. Because there's other comics I know really well that are huge Trump fans, and they're still working the club. Oddly enough, they're still friends on Facebook, though. But, maybe the person just said, I don't want to see this shit. I want to, so I'm going to unfriend the person, but maybe I'm not funny enough, and maybe you add it all up, and then maybe the person's not going to work me, Who knows?
Well, what I think you should do is I think you should contact this individual, and I think you should ask him why. And maybe he'll give you the answer you want to hear. Maybe he'll give you the answer you don't want to hear, but maybe you should get closure on it.
I was thinking about it, but I thought, you know what? I don't know if the person knows I know, and I feel a little douchey. I'm like, hey, you unfriended me on Facebook, Listen,
I don't think that's a douchey thing. I'm just curious. I would say it. I'd say, just curious, man. I looked on my page that day to see what was going on. And I seen that we're no longer friends. Just curious if it was a typo, a glitch in the system, or I said something you didn't like. There's ways of saying things without being professional.
Yeah.
I know that's something you have to decide. What you want to do later on. Here's a good story, man. And this actually this kind of gets to me a little bit, man. This really bothers me. And I'm not a gun person, believe me, I'm not. I own guns, and I was, I shot guns in the police academy and everything, but I'm not a big gun guy. But I think you should have the right to carry and protect yourself. And I think you feel the same way. And the St. Louis couple that was famous for protecting their ground. They had a lot of people in their private property. I think anybody would have done that whether they're white or black. I don't think it was a crime because they were white against black people. I think they were protecting, and there was more of them than the two people. They're trying to.
It was a mob of people that broke through a gate.
Yep.
Through a private community, trespassed,
screaming and yelling. Threatening
out all kinds of things.
Threatening to kill their dog, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? So they threatened
What
it.
else do you need?
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, so what? I mean, the rules of brandishing a weapon and this and that, who gives a shit? If there's 10 people on my front door or on my yard outside my house and they're screaming shit at me, I am going to walk out my AR-15 with a laser scope on it and point it at somebody.
It worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
It worked. There you go. So this is a problem I have, man, because it's little things they take away become big things, and that's part of the mask problem I think that people have. I don't think people are really against getting something in their arm. I don't think. I mean, people take cocaine, they eat fast food, they do all kinds of shit, that steroids. I think it's more that when someone tells you have to do something, there's an issue because it gets into bigger issues. There's always bigger issues when you're subservient. So I think that's more of the issue than anything else. You have to make that decision, and you shouldn't, there should be no penalty either way. You should do what you want to do in life. You're not hurting anybody else. If they got the vaccine, they should be okay.
And it's a crazy precedent to say, if you got the vaccine and you're protected, right, then you should be protected from me. And if you're not protected by getting the vaccine, why the hell am I getting it?
Exactly. If it's not strong enough, then why the fuck do I have to take it? Exactly.
You're not selling me on it. If you told me, hey, if you had the vaccine, you can't catch it. You can't catch it.
Exactly.
Well, fuck, I'm going to take it.
Exactly. And here's the issue I have. They hated the vaccine when Trump talked about it, and now they love it that Biden talks about it. And anybody that can't complete 4 words, I have trouble listening to anyway. That's one of the issues I have. Talking about putting substances in your body real quick. 20%, they're saying 20%. That seems like a very high number. But they're saying now, because the fentanyl that's coming over the border with this great president, with these open borders, is insane. We're worried about, this is funny. We're worried about a thing that might kill you 1/100%. Fentanyl will kill you. There's enough fentanyl in the United States right now to kill everybody 4 times. Okay? Yeah. So we're not worried about the open borders and all the fentanyl coming in, but we're worried about the COVID. We're worried about the COVID, but not the fentanyl. So, I mean, it's just so crazy when you think about it. It's just common sense has to prevail sooner or later. I don't think
when you combine inconsistencies with hypocrisy, it's very scary. Yes. And that's the key. You know what I mean? Like, we lost a couple great comics in the last few weeks in LA from a fentanyl overdose on cocaine.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you are a casual user of the white powder, you may want to reconsider.
I personally just like the way it smells. I'm not a big fan of it, but it has a nice aroma. So
okay, Rodney Dangerfield.
Was that Rodney? Okay.
Hey, I don't like cocaine. I just like the way it smells.
That's funny, man. So, you know what? It's funny. You pick your poison, pick what you want, man. I say no to drugs. And you know what? If you decide you want to get a shot, get it. If you don't, you don't. And it ends right there. It's that simple. But I'll tell you what. I'm getting old now, and it's kind of sad. Every day I wake up, I'm a little bit older because I still in my mind think I'm young, man. I still have young thoughts like I'm 20, and I still think that I still have that young vision in my life. And I'm a very active person. I'm still active, And Phil Collins, man, I grew up with Phil Collins, and I'll tell you what, man, it's sad to see people get old because I remember the young Phil Collins, when we were young, and to see him come out in a wheelchair, disabled and just really aged, it's like it's tough to watch. Even I seen Pat Benatar about a year ago or 2 years ago, and she sat down the whole concert. Man, you go to a concert, you want to see, even Mick Jagger at 80 jumps up and down. Yeah. She sat down. And you better run, bitch. You better get up out of that chair. I better run. You're fucking sitting your fucking crazy ass down.
You sit down. You better run.
Yeah.
You better hide.
And I'm watching this concert and I'm saying, the fuck did I pay $50 for or $80? Whatever it was too much. I mean, I like a little excitement, and it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Old, man.
Well, listen, Phil Collins never really looked that young. He was always balding. He always looked like somebody's uncle, for God's sakes.
Even when he was 20. He was 20. He looked like the pedophile uncle, whatever it was. He had that weird look to him. Yeah, he did.
He looked like somebody who worked at the post office.
Exactly, man. But the funny thing about it is it's funny because I guess we're all getting older, but when you see it every day, you see it. It's kind of sad, man. But you know what? Kudos to Phil Collins for still performing. But, it's sad. It's sad to see these aging stars. And that's kind of the reason why I go to a lot of concerts, because there's going to be a time where we're not going to have them anymore, And it's getting sad because we got to listen to this garbage music that's out right now where people have one fucking hit and that's it. There's no more Rush and there's no more bands that existed for 30 years. You got all these scumbag singers that have one hit and that's it. And it's sad to see some of these legends, pass on,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, another topic we'll talk about that, man, I'm fired up today, man. I'm really fired up today. I don't know why, but I am, man. The only person that doesn't get older, by the way, just so you know, is Tom Brady. He'll never age. Just so when he's like 58, 60 years old, I think he'll still be playing. He looks better now than he did in his 20s, dude. I watched the game.
Why don't you just make love to him? Why don't you just go ahead and bang the guy, dude? Go do a Nicaraguan dance with him. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you just go?
It's funny, it's funny that you said that because I think I told you a story about 3 weeks ago. Gronkowski came to my room at the Hard Rock. He hung out with us. We sat and talked, me and Eric. We hung out with Gronkowski. I think I told you the story, but real quick, I told Gronk, my girl was there too. We're all hanging out, just talking. What a nice guy, by the way. What a humble, nice guy. And we were talking. I said, Brady's allowed to bang my girl. I told Gronk, because I can make that shit happen right now, And he goes like this. He goes like, are you sure you wouldn't get jealous? I say I might get jealous, but not of her. I get jealous because of him.
Mark's like, me next.
Go, Gabe. Good game. Now he's just I idolize him because he's just a legend on and off the field, man. And it's hard to find that. You have all these scumbag players like LeBron James, fucking scumbags. They're all about the money, and this guy's about winning. And listen, I always like winners, bro. I always cheer for winners. You know what I'm saying? People that say they can't make it, fuck them. You can. You know, that's why you moved to this great country. And Brady, he's just a winner, man. And like, he never complains. He never takes credit from somebody else.
The difference between a superstar like LeBron James and Brady is you've never seen Brady flop. You've never seen Brady complain about cramps. You've never seen Brady, wuss and just complain about shit. You know what I'm saying?
He played with a torn meniscus the whole season last year and won the Super Bowl in a COVID season with no preseason with a 5-11 team the year before. I mean, enough said. I mean, it's that easy. Yeah. So he's a winner, and fuck LeBron. We all hate LeBron, so fuck him. And we'll just finish it off like that. You know what I'm saying? And this the other thing that's kind of getting me fired up today, man, is that fucking bitch. What's her name? You said her name earlier with the Gabby story. Joy. What's the girl that said the reason why we're paying attention?
The lady from MSNBC, Joy Lewis, whatever. She's horrible. She's the one who was busting, Nicki Minaj, calling her, how dare you use your platform,
But the only reason, she said, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but she said the only reason why we care about this beautiful young lady that had her whole life in front of her, the one from Florida, Gabby, is because she's white. Really? That's what you fucking say, you animal? Fucking George Floyd with that fentanyl piece of shit we had to listen to for about 2 years. Scumbag, nothing with society. I mean, just didn't help society out one bit. We had to listen about that guy. The family got all kinds of money. It was race, it was this, it was that. We had to listen to it for years, okay? This poor girl, young girl, we shouldn't worry about her. I mean, to say that is so insensitive, callous. What an animal she is. She's a
fucking listen, the story with what's his name, your favorite boy there who got killed? Floyd. The story about George Floyd was because of had a whole different topic, which was police brutality. He was just in the scene where the real focus.
But it really wasn't police brutality. But I don't want to get into that.
Listen, it was a little. Listen, everybody said it could have been handled differently, but I get it. I'm out of the philosophy. If you're a criminal and you're doing bad things, it's on you.
Bad things.
I don't give a shit at that point. There's too many. There's so much mischief and horse shit and bad people out there. We already see what's happening if you restrict the police officers from using certain force. Because it's just like in the global world.
What the problem I have with the George Floyd was? It was the narrative that it was white on black, and it wasn't. It was a policeman and a criminal. It wasn't a white on black crime. It was a police officer and a criminal. Okay, so that's the problem I have. Black people get killed by white cops, and black cops get killed by white criminals get killed by black cops. It's just part of being a criminal and being a cop.
Well, and again, if you want the community to feel about it, it's not like everybody's already said. It's not. Black men, the thing black men in this society have to worry about is a white cop. They have to worry about their fellow black men, in the streets. They're not dying by the hand of police officers. It's a fractional decimal.
The smallest ratio of crime is
so,
white.
And I believe in that. I think that, I think it's horrible what you see in Chicago and stuff like that. Children being shot, innocent bystanders. If two gangbangers shoot each other, who gives a shit? That's the life they've chosen. But if somebody innocent bystander gets shot because it falls over into that, that's a problem.
I think you nailed it, Doug. I think that's part of the problem. I have such a problem with it because they focus on this one piece of shit when you have beautiful young children that actually have done nothing and they have their whole life ahead of them, and they walk outside their apartment building and it's a black on black crime, or it could be white on white. It doesn't matter what it is, but we're focusing on that one thing when we never focus on the other thing. This girl had her whole life in front of her. You know what I'm saying? This young girl, whether she was white or black, she happened to be white. I'd feel just as sad if she was black. It doesn't matter her color. To say that we're talking about because she's white is such an evil thing to say. She's a very evil woman.
Yeah,
and she needs to be called out.
The story is anytime somebody goes missing in the story, and then they had the camera, the cops pulled her over, them both over, and they were talking. I guess they must have gotten to a spat. And the more you learn, the interesting thing is, we everybody out there, unless you're the family themselves, we know this much about that couple. You know what I mean? I mean, who doesn't think that the boyfriend killed her at this point? You know,
how could he not have? I mean, they went to Wyoming together, and he came back home without her. Or what did he do? Just drop her off at a gift shop?
Well, how do we know that maybe Gabby didn't have sex with Tom Brady and he got pissed? And he's not as understanding as you.
We need to investigate it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
it's just, you know what it is? It leads that way because it makes the most sense. Of course, it needs to be investigated, but you don't leave your girlfriend in another state. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got a bad fight, you know, or she met up with some other guy and you said, fuck, but then he should say that. Then the guy, have they caught him or have they even spoke to the guy?
No, and matter of fact, I just saw the news today. The FBI has confirmed that was her body.
That was her body.
They found, yeah.
Okay, it was.
They confirmed her identity.
So we need to find out more about it. But yes, I do think it was, I think it was either the guy or OJ. I'm not sure which one it was.
Yeah. That guy was running away somewhere in Tampa, and OJ was driving a Bronco the other way.
Hey, he lives in Florida. He plays golf. You never know, man. We're going to put it on OJ. Why not? He got off the first crime. Let's get him for the second. So, yeah, we got to do something to do our part as Americans.
Well, I got a funny story here. You know, while we're on this aspect of race, okay? And again, let me preface by saying this. I don't look at it. I judge people by their behavior and their actions. And I trust everybody till they earn my distrust. Very simple. That's how I feel about everybody. But they had this situation in New York City. It was on the news about there was a party, like 3 black women and a few black guys were at some Italian restaurant in New York City, very nice Italian restaurant. And 3 of the women and a couple of guys, I believe, attacked the Asian lady, the hostess. And, you know, no, thank you.
You got a pizza coming? What's going on?
They tell me if you want housekeeping, ask for it. You know, because they don't just come all the time. I'm here one day. So, play with Weenie. We play Sucky Dicky. What? But you know, so all right, so the story happened. You know, they're like, what happened? Why all these women gang up and beat up this poor Asian woman? Well, as the news finds out, and again, every time something happens, you end up finding more and more about it.
Always the race card.
Well, the 3 ladies had vaccines and the vaccine card. So in New York, you can't eat anywhere or go in any place without a vaccine. So they were allowed in. They actually went in and sat down. Then 3 other men showed up in their party. 2 of the men didn't have vaccines and 1 did. So the hostess said, well, you can't come in. The 2 men can't come in. So that's when the ladies got pissed, came out, started arguing and fighting. And supposedly that this one young little Asian girl supposedly dropped the N-bomb on her.
Okay.
Which is supposedly to justify the violence. And let me say this. I don't care as bad as the N-word is, like to a Spanish person, spick. Okay.
Well, it can't be too bad if everybody uses it in rap songs. That's the problem I have. Real quick.
That's a whole nother story, dude. All I'm saying is if a word, if somebody says a word, that's still not justification for kicking their ass. Exactly. You may feel better doing it, but guess what? It's against the law. Because if somebody says that, it's not an assault. It's not any type of battery. It's just words.
At the end of the day, it's a word. At the end of the day, it's a word.
So and it's just I posted something on somebody's Facebook. I go, what's next? Did they also say their hands were up? You know, did they also say, I can't breathe? You know, now you watch everybody, white people and everybody, the minute they're getting arrested by the police, I can't breathe. You know,
if she really used that word, which I very highly doubt she did, doesn't sound like she would have against that many people. She got to be crazy if she did. I'm sure other people would have heard it, first of all. Other people would have heard it. She didn't whisper in their ear. That's the first thing. The second thing is what they should have done is went to the manager or wherever and said, listen, you know, this person said this word to me, blah, blah, blah. And then we go from there. This is what it sounds like to me. I'm not a detective, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn once. But this is what it sounds like to me. It sounds like they didn't get their way. And when you don't get your way, you go to the race card. Like everything else in life. Like how they use it every time is people. I'm not saying black or white. Yeah. People use the race card, and it's ridiculous.
Well, even on TikTok, there was a video of this poor guy who was at Southwest Airlines. And I guess something had happened where some lady, you know, sometimes the Southwest Airlines, you're in the way they board, you know, you have numbers and So somebody's ahead of you. And trust me, if I'm an A25, I don't care if somebody's ahead of me in A23. I'm not going to be like, oh, you're 26? Get behind me. I don't give a shit. But, supposedly the lady was in front and the guy said something and then he became belligerent. And then the Southwest airline person was telling the guy who was black, he's like, look, I want to listen, you already caused the scene, so you're not going to get on this flight, but how you handle the rest of this will depend on whether I'm going to just not let you fly at all or just put you on another flight. And instead of just saying, all right, listen, it's over. I didn't appreciate the way the woman supposedly cut me in line. What are we in fucking middle school? I didn't appreciate that. Hold on a second. And then the woman kept saying, look, how you carry on at this point will depend on whether or not you're going to get on another flight or whether you're not going to get on a flight at all. And the guy chose to stick by this. And then his wife comes in and guess what it is? Oh, this is racist. The guy's not taking any personal responsibility for being a complete fucking asshole and not just appreciating the lady trying to, hey, look, we're trying to take care of this. If shit happens, let's move on.
He should have handled it like the other lady. What he should have done, what I would have done, Doug, and because I think they're both wrong, to be honest with you, because there's a reason why you get on the computer early and you set your alarm clock to get a good seat. And in life, you can't just cut people. That's not how life works. So I know what you're saying too. I get your point too. So, but that's not how life works. And I would have been that same guy, the same asshole yelling at her because I've done it before. But what I'm saying, what he should have done instead of getting a big fight and getting to, he should have went to as they're good boarding. She said, "Listen, I'm A23. She's B4. Just so you know, I'm ahead of her." And they would have seen it and they would have handled it correctly. And then there would have been no fighting and no issues. Right. But I have a problem with both sides of it because you just can't cut in line, and that's not how life works. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, listen. And by the way, I don't know why you bother with all that. For $20, you got money, Mark. Just do the early bird on Southwest. It's $20. I mean, Christ, you can sit there. I'm gonna call it 6 a.m. I got to.
You think I do it? You think I call? My girlfriend does. My girlfriend. She has tons of money. She's all about principle. If she buys lettuce for $1.69 and there's a little brown piece on it, it goes back to the store. But I don't call. I don't call. But there is rules and regulations in life, man. You can't cut people. You just can't.
No, you can't. But you know what? Like I said, if a woman did that to me, I would sit there and I would just give her that look. Like if that ever happened to me, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm 24. Well, I'm 22. Well, why are you getting ahead of me?
Yeah, that's not a big deal. But sometimes
I'm gonna have a controlled conversation. I'm gonna be like, well, you shouldn't. Why would you? And then if she didn't move, I'd be like, well, you really feel justified knowing that I should be ahead of you? I mean, the fact that I'm a gentleman, I'm gonna allow you to do it, but you're a complete schmuck, And then I'm going to realize it's not even worth my energy and time to get the angst of it.
But here's how me and you differ. And I'm not saying you're wrong. You're probably right, and I'm probably wrong. But this is how life works for different people. How I differ, I don't allow people to have bad behavior. I just don't. It's something in my brain. It's something in my brain. I can't turn it off. I can't switch it off. And it's probably a fault. It probably is. But I can't allow bad behavior.
Listen, when I'm walking around the airport, people are walking around with their mask. I'm like, what the, it's stupid. I'm like, and of course I'm just looking at him like, oh God, there's a part of me that wants, hey, it's stupid, put it over your nose. But then I'm like, he's like, just stay away from the person. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? And I just give him that look. I just give him that look.
But to me, that's choice also. If you want to wear the mask or if you don't, it's choice. That's how I feel about it. Everybody feels differently. Oh, he's going to get me sick. No, he's not. I mean, that's how I feel. But, we all have different opinions. And that's the great thing about living in this country. You're allowed to have different opinions. And Nicki Minaj should have her opinion and they shouldn't attack her for it. And that's the problem, man, is there's only one side of an opinion with liberal America today. They're right and everybody else is fucking idiots. Meanwhile, we have a president there that's fucking drooling on himself and he can't complete 3 words. So,
well, I will say this. I watched his address today to United Nations. And I thought, considering it's him, he actually did a great job. Not that the speech is bullshit, but he actually did a pretty good job. Yeah, he did a good job with that. So I won't be completely biased. And he actually did a good job.
They're not throwing any tough questions at him. I mean, I know he wasn't having questions at that point. But
it's funny. It's funny you say that, Mark, because a lot of the people from the United Nations were stunned because of how the press handled when they tried to ask questions, how his team fought off all the questions because he was probably out of breath because he didn't fuck up doing a 30-minute speech, and he was no more. I got to go take a shit. Yeah. They say that he's how do they say when you can't control your body he's incontinent. He's shitting himself all the time.
I believe it. I mean, his motor skills are definitely not there. I'm surprised. How long was this speech? Because I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty surprising, you know. And I think it was like 20, 30 minutes, something like that speech.
If you're talking about generic stuff, anybody can sound like a genius. Yeah, like if you say, "Listen, the apple's red," and you stick to that anybody can sound like a genius. It's when you go into details and have to answer tough questions is when you have issues. And I heard, go ahead.
Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Joe Biden.
Hey, at that note, man, I think we're coming on the time, man. We've had
I had so many other great stories here.
Another one. Let's go a little over. I don't care. Let's do another.
All right. Well, first of all, it's funny that in Afghanistan, the Taliban leaders are concerned because their fighters can't be martyrs anymore, martyrdom. So now they don't know what they're going to do. They don't know what all these crazy people, not they have their own country, like do now. So I was thinking of what can we suggest that Taliban fighters now can do that they can't now that they can't just blow themselves up and kill people anymore. Maybe they should do sports collectibles, Mark. Maybe they should start collecting, Tom Brady cards and
why not? Why not?
Right?
Man, it's a good investment. It's kind of funny that we even have the Taliban now, that we can actually even talk about them because of this great president. We didn't talk about the Taliban for a while when number 45 was there. We didn't talk about ISIS. We didn't talk about a lot of fun things we didn't talk about. And I pray that we get back to those days where we don't talk about them ever again.
Here's a story I thought was funny. I mean, if you're going to off yourself, you know what I mean? If you're going to kill yourself, then, then do it. But two people are dead after a man jumps off a building and landing on a victim and landing on somebody in Westchester.
Did he plan on doing that, or did it just happen that way?
Could you imagine?
I don't think you could plan that unless it's a small jump. But
one guy jumps off a building and says, "I've had enough. This world's crazy. I'm going to end it." And there's another guy who probably just won the lottery. Yeah. You know what I mean? He just got a new 82-inch screen TV. His girlfriend gave him a blowjob in the morning. He's walking around going, "Oh my God, my life is amazing. What's that noise?
What the?" Yeah. Can you imagine that, man? Getting killed because some idiot wants to kill himself, And that's a part of the problem I always had when the wrestler, I can't remember that wrestler's name that killed his whole family in Orlando, but it was a famous wrestler, Lex Luger, that's what it was.
Lex Luthor, yeah.
Lex Luger, I think it was. Yeah, Luger. But he killed his whole family, and just kill yourself, dude. If you're unhappy, just, don't be a coward. You're a coward. Kill yourself, and that's it. Leave everybody else alone. You know what I'm saying?
Well, remember that country singer that killed herself, but she killed her dog too a few years ago? Yeah, I can't remember her name, but she wanted to kill herself. She killed her fucking dog too. I mean, come on.
Poor dog, man. All that dog wanted to do is eat and wag his tail, and he had to have his life. Dogs don't have that much excitement anyway. Fucking, eating, and that's it. That's all they have. That sounds like me, actually.
I'm a dog.
I might be a dog. That's only two things I want to do anymore. Oh, God, that's hilarious. Hey, Doug. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
One quick story.
Yeah.
Because I think it's funny, because this has to do with one of the worst sins, one of the top sins, vanity, right?
Okay.
The evil sins of gluttony, vanity, pride. Yep. Mom and daughter killed adult film actress with backyard butt implants.
Wow.
A mom and a daughter who allegedly posed as plastic surgeons, pros have been charged with murder after aspiring adult film actress illegally butt augmentation surgery turned deadly.
I mean, not for anything, man. Wouldn't you want to be? Would they do it in a garage? Listen, if I'm getting a major surgery, I kind of want to be in a place that does major surgeries. I don't want to go to Kmart, or I want to go to a place called a hospital, maybe, where they do major surgeries. That's what you look at a card. What do you look at? You're like, oh yeah, my daughter's a surgeon. Okay. No referrals, no nothing. I mean, that's just crazy that people are so vanity that they'll do anything. And that person probably wears a mask. The worst that wears a mask and is worried about COVID. Meanwhile, they're shooting silicone in their ass. It's just, people are insane. People are insane, man. Like I said, people have to be insane. We look at the president we have. So the country is
people. There was cases in Miami where there's like a transvestite.
Yep.
The transvestite was caught trying to use Fix-A-Flat.
Fix-A-Flat. Yep. I think in her breast. I think it was her breast. Was her ass?
In the ass. In the ass. He was trying to give people that big ass, and Crazy. I mean, listen. I once tried to save a few bucks to get a root canal done, and a fellow comic's brother was a dentist in Miami, and I went there, and this complete moron left the drill bit in my tooth.
He was a dentist.
Yeah, he was a dentist and stuff like that, but he was a horrible fucking dentist.
Hey, Kevorkian was a doctor, man. So was Fauci. So, hey, listen, I always tell people there always has to be the world's worst. There's the world's worst comedian. There's the world's worst dentist. There's the world. So everybody says they have the best doctor, but someone has the worst doctor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No one will ever say that. No one will say, by the way, I have the world's worst doctor,
Dr. Bubats. But that's an old joke. You ever hear that old joke? You know what they call the person who finishes at the top of the class in medical school and the person that finishes at the bottom of the class in medical school?
Go ahead.
Doctors.
Doctors, exactly. Yeah, no matter what. Yeah, exactly. And that's the funny thing, because everybody says, I got the greatest doctor. No, you don't. There's fucking a million doctors. You might not have the greatest, but always people, they're always, that's why I always try to explain to people, there's the worst of everything. Right now we have the worst president. So, we had the best and now we got the worst. So it works out that way.
Absolutely.
But on that note, we're going to end the show because we're way over. Listen, it's always a pleasure, Doug. I hope you have much success in your Vegas trip. I hope it's really, really good for you. You're a very funny guy. So these comedians have to be really funny to stay with you. So one day we'll have to go on a Vegas trip together, man. It'll be a lot of fun, I think. And yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, man. I love Vegas, man. I mean, the Vegas loves me too. So it's a double-edged sword, man. But listen, guys, Doug, when's your next event?
By the way, if you are in Vegas, I'm going to be doing some guest appearances at Las Vegas Live Comedy Show tonight. It was last night, Tuesday. But this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to be at the LA Comedy Club this Thursday competing in the World Series of Comedy at 6 p.m. Come by and support. And another show, I will be at Stir Crazy Comedy Club October 1st and 2nd in Glendale, Arizona. So come out there and support.
Yes, definitely. If you get a chance, come see him. He's very funny. I have a big buying event, which I didn't talk about at all, which I probably should have talked about it right away. But I have a huge buying event this Saturday. Come for free pizza, free drinks. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. We're open up. We did full page ads, and we're at 418 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach, Florida. Beautiful store. We're buying, man. We're buying everything. Rolexes. We're doing Breitling, gold, silver, baseball cards, Tom Brady stuff. You got it. I'll even buy a Joe Biden autographed baseball if you have one. Maybe just to throw it until my dog can catch it, but I will buy it. Everybody, enjoy what you do in life. Don't let everything bother you, and subscribe to us. Watch us. Make some comments. Everybody, keep hustling. Enjoy your life.
That's it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. See ya.